members of the management, Father Dr. Tommy Augustine, Rector, Father Dr. James Chaco, Rector, Brother Jose, Vice Principal, Father Nirmal Topo, Bursar, and Department in charge of Mass Communication, Deans Dr. Terence and Mr. Uday, coordinators, heads of departments, faculty members, outgoing batch of students, and others who are here this noon. It is customary on a graduation day for the principal to make a small report, small or big, depending on the size of the institution. I would like to be a bit unconventional in beginning that report part before I come to my message by referring to the physical environment that you see. You have been here for 3 years, and this hall wasn't looking as beautiful as it looks if you look up always. And I want to remind all of us that the beauty of this nature in a campus, in its physical, material aspect, comes as a result of much thought, much action, done with much care for details. You would see that if you go below to the new Learning Commons and Research Center, as well as the library. Therefore, I would like to place on record this transition that the college has made during this pandemic time of the management especially trying to beautify, embellish, and make the learning environment more conducive than it was when you joined and now that you are leaving it. My thanks, therefore, to Father Tommy Augustine, Brother Jose, Father Jagjeevan, Father Nirmal, who along with the deans and the workforce saw to this value addition to the institution, which these days and even this event is going live, reminds us of the kind of growth that an institution makes. And that reminds me of the time when all four of us, Brother Jose, Father Tommy, Father James, and me, were on a similar function in the other end of this campus, in the old hall, which was then renovated. And the total number of students in the college were just as many as those who are present in this hall. So the kind of strides that we make in this Gorabari, in this Sonada, in this Darjeeling Salesian College is what this year's outgoing batch of students, you all, are re-emphasizing. You are emphasizing, or you are making the statement in this locality and in this region that a place which was 20 years ago, if you look at the satellite pictures of this very location, it was a jungle, has been converted into this beautiful space which can accommodate over 600 persons. Now, this material convenience in an apparently, let's say, remote location, because we are bordering on the Sinjal Wildlife Forest, just beyond 500 meters above these hills. And even if you check in the Aadhaar website, you will find Sonada Post Office as Sonada Forest Post Office. Not even the town is recorded. And till the other day, Salesian College was, and even now, in Rington Tea Garden. I am making reference to these kind of geosatellite positioning kind of thinking because that is the world into which you are moving out. Father Rector beautifully mentioned about the competence, commitment, and compassion with which you ought to be and you are being graduated. And my thought for a message goes to what's the kind of world that by the time you will reach our age with more gray hairs and more wrinkles on the face, be facing, be living in, what's the world that you are going to create? It is true whether one does graduation in a metropolitan city or in a rural environment like ours, the aspirations are unending. And our own history shows that the location where you studied doesn't prevent you from going places, because our old students are all over the world. And some of you definitely will settle down in locations other than maybe even this country. However, the world that you are entering into is different, and different as being shown to us by the pandemic, as being shown to us by the environment that is changing, the climate that is changing. You couldn't think of this kind of a short rain here. If it came and it continued pouring for maybe 2 days non-stop. Everywhere it is changing. The planet itself is changing. And therefore, could there be an aspiration as you leave? And this is my thought with you. On the one side, leaving options of maximizing your potential and being where you can be rightfully slotted. No harm about it. Look for such opportunities. But it might happen that all of that doesn't simply materialize because of the special circumstances that we are living through. So could there be an alternative? Could there be an alternative for a graduate of Salesian College of remaking the world, of rebuilding community, of upgrading and strengthening and revitalizing that traditional notion of the Samaj? You have a place from where you have come, and that place is your home. Salesian College has created this ecosystem, as I referred, over the past 80 years because there was that competence, commitment, and compassion of people to be here. Even when there were options to go elsewhere. Even when there were options to downsize. And therefore you have a beauty. And you have been part of that beautiful environment. And you have appropriated something which is uniquely Salesian, which is uniquely of Salesian College Sonata. And you have therefore a legacy, just like all the predecessors, to convert that unique experience that you have had as your signature, as your imprimatur, as your insignia in the home from where you arrived here. Imagine that as an alternative, that all of us and all of you recreated your own home spaces, your own local community, your own immediate neighborhood, made it, just like I'm comparing, in your own way, more congenial, more welcoming, more elderly friendly, more other-abled friendly, more considerate towards those who have less than you, in and around your own homes. What would happen if this beauty expanded into Sonada, into beyond Korabari, into Rington, and into the entire Darjeeling district. People come from all over the world to see the beauty of Kanchenjunga because that is somewhat perennial. We still have snow with all the climate change up there in those mountains, and people come to see it and to watch it. But there is another beauty in these mountains, in the dwellings of persons like you. You are the product of your grandfathers and grandmothers who nurtured your life, took care of you, and therefore you have this opportunity of this beautiful education. And as the world is changing, probably we also need to rethink our aspirations and be happy to create and to sustain and to nurture the beauty that God has given us. Thank you.